Okay, so here's that oil pan, and what I've done is I've just put some paint thinner in it, and just a little bit in the bottom. I've just been moving it around. I don't expect to get all the staining off the pan. It's just that I'm trying to loosen up, you know, any deposits and anything that might be like sludge in the bottom and things like that. Now, this little opening right here, you can see that it's holding fluid here, right? So that's supposed to be free right down to the bottom because it's open near the bottom of the pan. And that's the drain from the oil separator box on the side of the block. I noticed that passage was plugged in the block, and then it comes in and it runs down. And if that's not free, then what'll happen is it'll back up in the system. And you can see how, you know, that's been soaking for a few hours in the solvent. I'm going to open that up. I couldn't pass a stiff wire, like I had an extension cord pushed in, you know, and it has to go through a 90-degree turn to get down into there. So I couldn't get it in and then push it down with enough force to clear it, because, you know, even the heavy extension cord was bending at the kink, you know, and I tried to blow compressed air in the hole and I couldn't get it to blow through either. So off came the pan. And luckily, you know, with these Volvos, the pan, there's nothing under it. There's no cross member, so it came out. You know, it's pretty much a straight drop. You don't have to move anything out of the way to get it off of there. So I'm still not to the bottom yet. Just let me get a rag and we'll let's examine this stuff as we go. Okay. Let's see what kind of junk we're getting off of there. I still feel it's quite soft in the bottom. I'm not to the bottom yet, so that's been building up in there for quite some time. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's really caked solid. Yeah. I'm not to the bottom of the pan yet. Getting close though. Let's see. Let's take a measure here. Yeah, getting close. I think I'm at the pan now. I just went through. I just broke through the last bit of sludge. But yeah. So yeah, if that's plugged, that's the only route for the oil out of that separator back into the sump. It doesn't just come in and just drain from the top, you know, into the sump. It has to run down through that tube. I'm just wondering, does it have to exit at the very bottom of this tube? I wonder what happened if I drilled a hole in this pipe. You know, just drilled a hole about here, right through, you know, a 3/8 hole, you know, down here. And the oil would get into the pan then, but does that disturb the, you know, how it's introduced? You know, maybe the way this works is those return oil has to be introduced to the oil below the surface, and if you introduce it up here, that might introduce crankcase gas back up into the separator and work backwards. You know, like the way it works normally is crankcase pressure is going to come out the top of the engine with any vapor. The vapor gets separated, the oil drains back in here, and the vapors that don't contain so much oil are burned on the intake stream of the engine. So maybe if the oil gets let out, you know, above the oil level in the pan, then it messes the system up. That's the only reason I can see for this tube being all the way to the bottom. And I haven't found any place where this is really well explained. You know, I've seen countless videos and read stuff about how this has to be free, but I haven't had anybody really explain the system any better than that. Oh, look at that, it's still backing up. Look at that, it's still holding a level. And that's just paint thinner. not oil. So the oil wouldn't go through either. So it's still not free. Because that's ridiculous. I mean, that is no wonder it plugs up. Look at that. Oh, it is draining back. Now it is going through a little bit, yeah. Okay, it's not trying to hold a level anymore. Okay, we're winning. But it's, yeah. That might be a, I don't know, an engineering mistake in the design of this pan. I'm gonna piss somebody off by saying that. The Volvo purists, but oh well. There's got to be a reason that they did it that way, but a lot of stuff doesn't make sense to me, and I don't mind saying it doesn't make any sense to me. Oh well. If you can explain why that is released so close to the bottom of the pan, let me know in the comments, please. I'd love to hear the explanation for why that is. Okay, and my plan here is to just brush everything with the paint thinner and let it soak.